Hello everybody! Today we're going to be making a tier list of all the bosses in Halo Infinite, and in the tier list I also included Atriox just because I wanted to grade him. I know he's not actually, I know you don't actually fight him in the game, but I wanted to give some of my thoughts about like his backstory and everything else, and just like some disappointment with him. So we're going to grade every other boss as well, and what I'm going to be using to, like the methodology I'm going to be using to grade these people is one, how hard they are to fight, how much fun, two, how much fun it is to fight them, and then three, their backstory. I think the backstory of these bosses is very important, and I have to admit, some of these bosses are severely lacking, at least in terms of like what you learn about them in the game. There might be like books or other content like the Halopedia where you can learn more about them, but like I shouldn't have to read those books. I should be able to learn a lot about them in the game that I paid $60 for. So you know, I do expect a little bit better out of my writers, so that way I can actually grow to like these characters and have reason to be invested in the story. So first off, we're gonna start out by grading the worst villains, and that is, in my opinion, these two dudes. I think they're called Harmonious and Tremonius. So first of all, I just want to say these two already fail my test about having backstory. Like, I did not know anything about these two dudes aside from like one or two things, that they're like Spartan killers or whatever. And like when you actually fight them, they're kind of fun. Like I remember like I fought them on stream, and like they killed me like the first time. Like they're an okay fight. They aren't that difficult. They aren't really something that you need to be too concerned about. They're just kind of an annoying side quest, honestly. I'm glad they're in the game, but like I really wish that like we could have I could have more reason to like care about these two dudes, because like the game like when it introduces Spartan killers to you, like the game is like trying to be like, oh, look at this, these two, they're like super powerful, they kill Spartans, you should be scared of them, and then like you just kill them in like a few minutes, and like, okay, that's not really too intriguing to me. But next up, we're gonna grade, how about we do Chak Lok here. I think he's a B tier. He's not too memorable of a villain, but like he does have like a really good introduction. Like when you enter that one base, like there's a giant hologram of him. That's really cool. And it like gets you excited for the fight, and he is actually a pretty decent fight, like anything out of the ordinary, but like he can get you on edge at times, or at least if you're me. And then he's also just such a polite gentleman, by the way.
Welcome to my tower, Master Chief. It is where you will be broken.
Also, by the way, D tier, I don't have an F tier, so we'll just say D is F. Although I don't actually think any of the bosses in this game are F tier. Like for them to be F tier, they'd have to have like some serious problems that just like make the game worse altogether. And like I don't even think these two dudes do that. They just disappoint me, really. So anyways, next up let's do the Adjutant Resolution. Like this guy is a freaking Chad, and he goes in the S tier. Actually no, we're gonna put him in the A tier. He's a Chad, but not S tier. But so this guy, I don't think he doesn't have too much backstory. He reminds me in a lot of ways of that boss you fight in Halo 3, the guy who killed the little ball thing who hangs out with you for a bit, and then he turns on you and kills Sergeant Major Johnson. And then this guy's just a Chad in general. I mean, dude, the guy, he dies once and then he comes back for a second rematch, and the fights with him are actually fairly decent. Like they're not anything like too hard, but he actually gives you a bit of a run for your money, and that's pretty cool given his structure and how he's made and all that. Next up, we're gonna do the S tier, and we're gonna put I forgot his name, Jega Rdomnai. He is an actual Chad. This guy, first of all, he has some fairly decent backstory. Like he's he's slain a lot of Spartans, I think. And he hangs around Escharum a ton. And like him and Escharum are like best friends, and like they'll do anything for each other, I think. And then this guy's intro when you first fight him, like, oh, also, like, before I say anything about that, Like when you first see him in the game, he grabs Tremonius and like forces him onto a table, which is like almost slices his head off, which is a pretty decent introduction. It goes to show that he's willing to kill people on his own side, which is very sinister and all that. And then when he is first introduced as a boss, he is a freaking mad lad. Dude, like the fact that he's invisible, like is and then just like randomly spawns in and then keeps going invisible throughout the entire time is really terrifying. Like, and like, because like you're in a dark enclosed space, and like it's different from like other bosses who go invisible, like Chak Lok, because like since it's all dark, it's just like really scary experience. It's especially like since the music is more dark then too. So he's a really fun boss to fight. And dude, when I beat him, like when I was fighting him, like I don't know if you watched my stream or not, but I had a freaking heart attack fighting him, and when I finally beat him, I just like was like freaking I lost it. Like, oh my gosh, this guy he's a really good boss, and I'm very glad that he's in the game. And also, by the way, there is a potential that he might be in future Halo content, because he might not have died, because you know when you kill him, his body just disappears. Like, he doesn't, like, you know, like there's a possibility that maybe he actually like just vanished, and like you weren't actually fighting the real him or something like that, or like he's just that powerful as to be able to teleport out of there when he's about to die. So you know, there's a possibility that we might see him around again, which it's a slight possibility, not too high, but that would be pretty cool if we did, and we got like some story about like how he survived and all that. Next up, I'm gonna put the Harbinger in S tier. This one is based solely off of like about like her backstory, like with the Endless and all that, just because like the Endless seem like are like a really cool concept, and like I think like they seem like 343 trying to like revive the Flood, only make it their own version of the Flood, so that way it's a different separate entity, which is cool. I appreciate that. But one thing I do not appreciate about the Endless is how we're probably gonna have to pay for that DLC. And I already paid $60 for this game, so I kind of feel like that should just come in the game when they add the update, and I shouldn't have to pay any more money for it. And if you want to know my full thoughts about it, I already made a video about how the future of microtransactions and DLC in Halo Infinite, and how it's probably going to be pretty bad. But either way, back to topic. She definitely sets up a lot, and she as a character is pretty cool too. Like the boss fight with her is not overly difficult. It's more annoying than difficult, just because like she teleports all over the place. So that's about the only reason she's actually difficult to kill. Is the boss fight is like very mediocre. It's decent, but it's not bad, but it's not anything like I'm too particularly impressed with. But she overall, just because of like her backstory and like everything that she sets up, she goes in the S tier for that. Anyways, next we're going to put Bassus in the A tier, and this I'm gonna put him in the A tier solely because of how hard he was to kill. Like, dude, this guy, like, he doesn't have very much backstory, but this guy, when I first fought him, my god, he was a living hell. When you don't know like how to rig the game against him, he will be he's an absolute pain. Like, I died multiple times against him, like when I got him down to like 20% health, and I was like, I can get him, and then nope, he hammers me. Once you figure out how to like kind of cheat and like rig the game against him, he becomes really easy. Like, if you stand on top of the doorway and you just stand there and shoot him, the most he'll do is throw a grenade at you. He's not gonna do anything else, and he becomes like super easy to kill, which is good. And then next up, Escharum, he's gonna go in the S tier too. I don't know where in the S tier he should go. I'm gonna put him above. I'm gonna put him at the top. Yeah, Escharum, he obviously has a lot of backstory. He's basically the supreme leader of the Banished after Atriox left. I wish he was in the game a little bit more. But like his whole thing about like seducing Master Chief into a test of metal, that was pretty dope. Honestly, he was a really difficult villain to kill. Took me like 30 minutes to figure it out. It's also cool how he like spared Echo 2116 or whatever. or I mean 216, and just to like lure Chief there, and like because he didn't really want to kill Echo in the first place, and his motives are pretty cool, so he gets to be in the S tier for that. Next up, Tremonius. He's gonna go in the C tier. He's not a bad character at all. He's just, again, like I've said with some of the other characters, not in the game very much. He doesn't really have any backstory, and like when you fight him, he's like the very first boss that you fight in the game, which is fine, and like he's not too hard, which is probably a good thing. It's just he could be better, because like he really could have more backstory, and I would really appreciate that, given the fact that Escharum thinks he's like capable to fight Master Chief. So, you know, like, why does Escharum think he's capable to do that? You know, there's a lot of things to expand upon with his character here, and I would definitely kill to see that expanded upon, but that will probably never happen since he's dead. Or last of all, I don't know what to do with Atriox, man. Like, Atriox, like, you can't grade him like the rest of the bosses because you don't fight him. It's just, he has the potential to be a really good character. It's just right now he's not. Like, he's very mediocre, and the reason he's not is because he's not in the game. You know, when you first start up the campaign on Halo Infinite, you probably come under the impression that he is going to be the main villain in the game, because he just like totally manhandles Master Chief, and like that's pretty dope, by the way. So he's actually a challenge, but then like he's just like dies or whatever, or so everyone thinks, and he just like, for some reason, like he doesn't actually die, but he lives. He survives the explosion that Cortana set off. Even though he's literally the leader of the Banished, he's like, nope, screw it, I'm leaving. And he goes off to find the Endless, and like he leaves everyone on his own side to believe that he's dead, and it really doesn't make much sense, to be honest. Like, I don't understand why he wouldn't want his side's help in finding the Endless. That to me just doesn't really make sense. And also, like, just given the fact that like the opening scene of Halo Infinite made me think he was going to be like one of the main villains, and then he wasn't, that's just disappointing. And also, this comes back to another DLC argument. He's obviously gonna be in some DLCs with the Endless and all that, and you're probably gonna have to pay for it. And like, again, the fact that I have to pay for that is there after I paid $60 for the base game, that definitely turns me off. Like, free for free, please stop being so greedy. Games were at their best when you didn't have to pay for literally every new thing that that game's added. So I'm gonna put Atriox again. I guess he goes in the B tier. We'll put him above you. We'll put him in the B tier just because like he obviously he does have backstory, which is cool. And his segments with Cortana are cool, and I know he's in the Halo Wars. I haven't played those games yet. He really has a lot of potential, and like if Halo actually releases stuff with him in it that's free, and like as long as it's like an extension of like Halo Infinite, that would be really great. And although I suppose maybe you could see him in the whole Halo series that Paramount is going to be hosting coming up pretty soon, which would be pretty dope. I would appreciate that a ton. Overall, the bosses in this game are pretty decent. There's a lot more to appreciate about them than not. Like all games, it's just like all modern games specifically. There's a lot that could be expanded upon with these games. Like, you gotta keep in mind, like, there's a lot of like hours that you can put into Halo Infinite. Like, first of all, not only do you have the campaign, which is decently long, you have an open world setting, and so you could have like all these side missions where you're just like randomly exploring, and then you like find out more about these bosses. Like, that would be really cool. And like maybe there are audio logs where you can learn a little bit more about those, but like they're not. If there are, there's not too many of them, and they don't enhance the game all that much. So maybe you could have like some side quests where like you actually like have like a flashback or two, or like a hologram where you like learn about some of these characters more, and that would improve the game significantly, in my opinion. So anyways, that's going to be it for today. Hope you all enjoyed this tier list. I will probably be making more tier lists for Halo Infinite very soon, along with a review for it pretty soon. I don't know when that will come out. I'm very busy making a lot of different videos lately, and I have a job and school to deal with too. So we'll try to make the review within the next week, maybe. Hopefully. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.